I'm Dr. Karen Long, Director of Educational Technology and Innovation, and I am very pleased that we have a very dear friend here, friend to the school and a friend personally, Mr. Scott Robbins. Scott was born in Bronx, New York. His mother was an artist, his father was a clothing salesman, and his paternal grandparents had a deli in the Bronx. All of these family members inspired Scott to pursue a career in culinary and hotel restaurant management. From starting his own career catering business to finding ways to fund his own education, Scott has integrated the ideas of innovation to catapult him as one of the most successful planners of the Margaritaville Hotel brand. You can tell what's on my mind. Okay. Scott has 3 children. That's right. That's right.
It's on all of our minds.
Scott has 3 children. Gabrielle, who lives in New York, Taylor, who lives in Michigan, and the very famous Bridget Robbins, student here at Montverde Academy, 8th grader, cowering in her seat in embarrassment. And his wife, Tricia, in Mineola, Florida. Scott will be speaking to using innovation in his career. So Scott, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Dr. Long. This is like all the friends in my living room. This is great. This is wonderful. So, no yawning. But if I do get a little bit boring, just yell at me. But thank you. Wonderful. Innovation. So I like to describe it as thinking out of the box. Okay. Innovation, new ideas, methods, devices, novelty, the introduction of something new, all right, thinking out of the box. What does thinking out of the box mean to you? What's thinking out of the box? If you don't answer, I'm going to call on you.
Thinking away others are not expecting you to think.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. That's good. Give it as a gift. So, to think differently, unconventionally, or from a new perspective. To think out of the box in my business, which hotels, food and beverage, entertainment, doing something new or thinking out of the box is how I get new and more business. Let me share. So, can anyone tell me about an experience? Because thinking out of the box and designing and it's all about the experience, especially in my industry. Can someone tell me about an experience that they had? Any kind of experience. Has anyone been to Animal Kingdom?
Not a zoo.
Animal Kingdom? Yes? Yes? Okay. So that's you had an experience. You went to Animal Kingdom, you saw the animals, that was an experience. Okay. So here, this is for you. Have a little animal. All right. So let me share how I created an experience. This is Jewel Runaway Bay in Jamaica. Now,
Field trip?
there you go. Who's been to Jamaica? Everyone. A lot of them. A lot of you. Okay. You've been to Jamaica. All right. So here's a towel when you go swimming. Jewel Runaway Bay is one of the properties in Jamaica. It was a Breezes hotel. It was probably built in 1961. Very old. Okay. Now that has nothing to do with it, although that's a water park. But I just wanted to show a picture of Bridget and embarrass her in there. So in the pink, that's Bridget when she was young. Isn't she cute there? All right. Well, enough of that. So, Jewel Runaway Bay, let me see if I can pull this out. Okay. So it was Breeze's Runaway Bay. It was an adult-only property. It had been in existence since 1961. Had 4 restaurants, 3 pools, golf course, best beach on that side of the island, running about a 60% occupancy. We took it over. There was no AC. There was the sewage plant was about ready to overflow. There was no alcohol. There was no food in the restaurants. It was a mess. And we had taken it over the very next day, and it was still 60% occupancy. So I took my name tag off. Everyone was screaming at us. They were looking for the GM. They couldn't find me. But eventually, what we did is we created a family resort. So all ages. We replaced the furniture. We upgraded the suites. We added artwork to all the rooms in the hallways. And one thing that we did that was innovative was I sent a photographer around the island of Jamaica and took pictures. And then when he came back, we took those pictures and we put them on canvas. And throughout the whole entire property, we had the live pictures of actual Jamaica on canvas. And it was great, and it looked amazing. And it was different at the time that no one else was doing. We painted the buildings, we redid the lobby furniture, we redid restaurants. Now, they had 4 restaurants, we had about 8 or 9 restaurants, and we just designed restaurants. One of the restaurants we designed was a Platinum restaurant. And when you went in, anything that you ordered in the Platinum restaurant came out as an adventure, as an experience. So if you ordered the fish, all right, it came out on an aquarium with fish swimming around in it. All right, if you ordered a jerk pork, it came in a mini jerk pan. Just different things as it came out. It was always an experience that when you ordered it. So it was a lot of fun to go there. Corchester's Pizza. We had all different kinds of pizza. We had Peking duck pizza. We had caramelized onion and goat cheese pizza. We had spaghetti and meatball pizza. What was the? What do you think was the most popular pizza?
Chicken nugget, margarita, cheese, pepperoni.
Who? There you go. Who said pepperoni? All right. All right. You take that for the pepperoni response. All right. So, pepperoni, doesn't matter how crazy you went, and they were exciting, but you list all these different things and all these different experiences that people can have, and they're like, wow, caramelized onion goat cheese, wow, Peking duck pizza. They're still going to order a cheese pizza or a pepperoni pizza, but it's the given those choices, that experience. We had a sushi restaurant, we had a tapenaki restaurant, we had an Italian restaurant. We had a grill with jerk pork and jerk chicken. We had a buffet restaurant, Coral Cafe. We had an ice, Pirates Ice at the water park. So you can get ice all day, all along that you want, flavored ice. And then a restaurant at the water park. Now, even at we had a water park we built with a big lazy river and slides, and it was just amazing. And then we had kids clubs and teen and tween centers. We had nightly shows. We had a Red Ruby Ranch where it was over at the golf course, and we had horse stables because we had horse and buggy rides, and we had we built a petting zoo, we built a laser tag area, we had archery, we had you could do faux cattle roping. So you sat on a fake horse and you roped fake cattle. We had horseshoes. It was a fun place, and we did hay rides up there at night, bonfires, the s'mores, weenies on a stick, all that stuff. And For the kids club, we had cooking with the chef. So the kids would cook and the parents would come in and they would cook for the parents, or we'd just have a slumber party and they would eat. And we would do that every day. We had slumber parties and craft areas, imagination areas, reading areas, pirate and princess makeovers, fishing, gardening, where you planted a tree and if you kept on coming back, we kept the tree going on. If you didn't, we pulled it out and we replanted something else. But we had planted gardens and they picked tomatoes and just where they used it with cooking with the chef. Movie nights, sing-alongs. We had hermit crabs that they changed the shells. Disco, glass bottom boats. The teen and tweens had video games, pool, foosball, sushi making, photography, disco, kite flying, late night beach tag, golf, yoga, snorkeling, scuba diving, kayak, and water skiing. We even had a music studio where they record their own music. So we added these things, and it wasn't a lot of money to add it. The water park was probably about $3 million. But other than that, everything else we did internally, and we did it just very cost effective. And lo and behold, what happened is Jewel Runaway Bay then turned into 90% occupancy. We had 50% was from direct bookings. We were number one on TripAdvisor for the 6 years that we were there. For those who don't know, let me explain TripAdvisor. It's you go on the website. Does everyone know what TripAdvisor is? You guys know what TripAdvisor is? All right, that, you know what? Teach, you get a hat. So TripAdvisor, people write in their comments, and even with TripAdvisor, so there's innovation in anything that you do, and you can do it a little strangely. What I like to do is I answered all the comments on TripAdvisor, good or bad. So they got answered by the general manager. So the general manager, Scott Robbins, answered your comments. So they knew that if they had a problem, that the person who could take care of the problem was there. But they also knew eventually that if they were making up stuff, I called them on it. So I would respond. There was a lady, and I have some comments here that she said, let's see. Okay, so she was a former guest of the former resort. Okay, and she stopped coming for a while because we brought kids to the property and it was adults only. So in her eyes, it didn't change much. But if you look at it, of course it changed. So she said, except for the new owners and the children, not much has changed in 25 years. It's why we keep going back. The golf staff, exceptional caddies, servers, and bartenders treat us like we were coming home to family. Now it's true, my staff was phenomenal, but it had changed. And my response was, of course, because you're a family, Betsy, I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed your stay again at Jewel Runaway Bay. We missed you a few years ago when you jumped ship, and then you came back. Thanks for coming back. So those are the things that I didn't let pass. If someone made stuff up, we would respond, because again, I'm responding. I know all my guests, and that makes a difference, because people kept coming back because they know Scott Robbins. Well, the GM is so much involved, and he's on it. Yeah, he can be a little sarcastic sometimes, but he cares. So that's what we did at Jewel Runaway Bay. So thinking out of the box, is thinking out of the box easy? It can be. Who said it can be? Okay, it can be. You know, that's a good one. I'm gonna give you a shirt for that. It can be. Thinking out of the box can be easy. But what isn't easy is selling it. Selling it is hard. You know, you can think, we have some great thinkers here and coming up with different things, but selling it is hard. Why? Why is selling hard? It's hard for various reasons. The people that you're selling it to want to control things, and they maybe not want you to do it. Maybe they're jealous of it. Maybe there's rules behind this and you can't do this because of the rules. They don't know why the rules are there, but you can't do it because of the rules. But the biggest is people don't like change, all right? They don't want to change, so they want to go status quo, and that's not what innovation is about. Innovation is about change. It's all about change. What happens to a company that doesn't change? All right, well, we looked at Nokia, all right? Nokia was an incredible company. I don't know if everyone had a Nokia. You had a Nokia. And what about the flip tops? So it was sort of like Star Trek. You know, you're just like, you know, and you're all making those noises and everything. And you know, everyone had a Nokia. But what happened to Nokia? So Nokia, because of a few management changes and issues. What happened to the picture? Oh no. So I had a picture up there that showed the chairman of Nokia, and what did he say when Nokia was going under? Was, we didn't do anything wrong. Okay, we didn't do anything wrong. So, okay, you didn't do anything wrong, but you didn't do anything to compete with everything else that was coming up, with the new phones that were coming in, the Blackberries, the iPhones, the Samsungs, the Androids that were all coming back. No, he didn't do anything wrong, but they didn't do anything different. So they didn't proceed. So without innovation, what happened? The company was under until a bigger company came and bought them. Let me tell you about another story. So I work for Margaritaville, all right? For those who you may know Margaritaville, a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Buffett, there's a musician, sang the song Margaritaville, and there's a 14-foot flip-flop in every Margaritaville lobby. Now I have one in my lobby, it's ruby red, and if you look at it, there's a pop top there, and the flip-flop is broken. Well, the song Margaritaville, speaks to it. It's blew out my flip-flop, stepped on a pop top, cut my heel twice, had to cruise on back home, but there's booze in the blender, and soon it will render. My wife is telling me not to sing. That frozen concoction that helps me hang on. Wasted away in Margaritaville, right? Too bad. So each Margaritaville has a different flip-flop. There's white flip-flops, there's blue flip-flops. There's my wife Trisha in front of a blue flip-flop at Margaritaville Hollywood, right? So there's all different color flip-flops. Now, when I asked my bosses at Margaritaville, hey, can I decorate the flip-flops for the holidays, for various holidays? I think it would be really cool to decorate the flip-flops. And of course they said, absolutely not. And aloud, they said, you cannot desecrate the sacred flip-flop. Lightning shot out of their eyes and everything like that. And I was scared. But I didn't listen. So I took it into my own hands, and through innovation, we made a huge Santa hat and ornaments, and we decorated the flip-flop. Now, as we were putting the Santa hat on the flip-flop that day, in walks the chairman of Margaritaville, John Colan, with two investors. And John looked at me like he was going to kill me. And the investors said, "Holy cow, John, this is amazing. Do all your hotels have this?" And he goes, "No, not yet." So I got chewed out a little bit for it, but then 2 years later, a Christmas card came out, and what was it? It was my flip-flop with the Santa hat on. So they bought it anyway, but they still weren't happy about it. But I didn't care because I didn't listen. So for Halloween, I put a witch's hat on there. And we do trick-or-treating in the lobby and all of that, and we have a lot of fun. And it's there, but I didn't care. But then, of course, during 2020, COVID hit, and I had to put a mask on there. Now to make that happen, I put the ugliest mask on there first, and I took a picture and I showed the CMO for Margaritaville, and she said, "Stop, you're killing me. I will make you a mask that you can put on there." So they made this mask for me for free instead of the bed sheet that I put on there with Margaritaville on with a crayon. They made that, and I had smaller masks in the gift shop, and we sold it, and it was great. And even when we put signs around, during COVID, we had to have signs, and I said, "It's not like we're asking you to wear a blown out flip-flop, it's just a mask." So, and all these signs were out there, and we did a lot of other things. We said, keep your distance, 6 feet or 42 cheeseburgers, things like that. And you have a lot of fun with it. The Margaritaville, the people, they'll get over it. I mean, after all, if I can get Jimmy to wear that's Jimmy Buffett right there, if I can get him to wear a Santa hat, and that's me right next to him, then they shouldn't have a problem with me putting a Santa hat on the flip-flop. I think Jimmy is on his Nokia in that picture. So I tend to do things a little bit backwards. So I had a couple of embarrassing pictures, and that's little me up there. Isn't he cute? Let me say a little bit about me. So, first of all, I know you guys that are in the classes, and you may have that saying of it doesn't make sense. Why are we learning this stuff? We're not going to use it in the real world. Let me tell you, math. Okay, Mr. Hand is here. 50% of my day at the hotel is going through budgets, forecasts, revenues, occupancy percentages, etc. I wish I paid more attention to math in school, because that's all I use at the hotel. It's insane. Use it all the time. History, English, reading comprehension. I get 500 emails a day. 500 that I have to go through. And I have to read them fast. I have to action them. I have to remember them. I have to comprehend them and go through them. Trust me, it's training. You'll need it. You need it. Geography, we have hotels all over the world, and we have to know. And I send staff there. We do. We help them out. I've got to know where they are. I have to know about those areas to market them. To market what's happening in those areas. Like when I came up here, Orlando, I hear that there's a couple of theme parks in the area that I'm going to be competing against. Those are things that you have to know. PE, all right? Bridget, I walk 5 miles a day, sometimes even more around the property in the resort. All right, get your training in physical education. All right, go to the gym. You'll trust me. It'll help. But who knew? When I was 14, I was washing dishes for a place called the Skyline Cabana Club in Jersey City. I started cooking there, as well as a cabana boy on the summers and cooking at night. I cooked in a deli while finishing high school, and and I was saving up money to go to, for 2 years, to pay my way to go to Johnson & Wales University, which I did. I had three jobs up at school to get through school. Got out of school, worked with Hyatt Hotels for 6 years. I worked for Chase Manhattan Bank for a short time, and I did just events for and breakfast and lunch at the 60th floor at Chase Plaza, and I took care of David Rockefeller's lunches, and the chairman of the board, and the president, and the 11 EVPs for Chase Manhattan Bank. So all the kings and everyone who was borrowing money went in there, and I took care of all their functions up there. I then started working with Abigail Kirsch, who's one of the third largest caterers in New York at the time. I did Danny Aiello's daughter's wedding, and Joan London's daughter's bat mitzvahs, and Gregory Hines' daughter's wedding. I did events for Trump and Clinton and Regis and Kathy Lee, and had a great time. And then I moved to Jamaica and worked for Wyndham for 6 years, and again, designed and invented and had fun. We built water parks and opened up more restaurants. I then worked for Sandals Resorts. In 3 years, I worked at 4 different properties in Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, where we developed water parks and kids programs and just having a lot of fun there. And then we moved up Margaritaville, down in Jamaica. We worked at Margaritaville Caribbean and worked restaurants and designed menus and had fun there. And Ambridge Hospitality Jewel Resorts, I opened up 6 Jewel Resorts for Ambridge, and then moved up to Margaritaville Resort Orlando, and that's where we are now. And I still think I have a few more things out of the box, so do you have any questions?
What was your biggest struggle trying to pitch these new ideas or like out of the box concepts, and how were you able to convince them?
So I love what I do, and I have a great time doing it. I know, not every idea is going to work, but I have a feeling on what's going to work, and I know it's going to work. And if I get a no, I figure out how I can get a yes. So there's got to be a way to do it another way where I can get that yes, and show them that they made a mistake by first saying no, because I know I'm right, although my wife never tells me I am. But it's just, there's got to be another way, and I look for that way, and try to find it, and then show them in another way that look, this is amazing, and this could be great. And I also try to look at what they're looking for. Why are you saying no? Is it a money thing? So let me try to find a way to do it without spending a lot of money. Is it something else? Is it something that happened during their childhood and they're afraid of it? I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to get them to say yes. Yes.
When you can't come up with any new ideas, like what inspires you?
You can always do someone else's idea and just change it. There's a lot of different things that I did that and some, looking back on it, there's some that aren't necessarily politically correct. Like there was and my wife is cringing again. Oh no, what is he gonna say? So I was in Negril in Jamaica, and it was a special event, and we recreated the Titanic, and we had the dinner, and we had the tables all on a slant, and the stage on a slant, and I had the portholes low, and I had the portholes high, and I had water coming out of the portholes and we did it on a tennis court, So it was coming out to the tennis court. We had water pouring in, and we had the big front so people could take pictures with doing the thing on the front of the ship. And everybody came with lifesavers on, and then we recreated the menu from the Titanic, and everyone had a blast. And now if I think I did it today, I'd get people screaming at me, yelling at me, and I know it was terrible, but it was a great event. So it's just, now I didn't invent it, but I took it and I did something with it. Even though you have the bear. Yes, young lady in the back there, do you have a question?
You've talked about lovely Bridget so much, but I'd love to know about your other children. Specifically, who's your favorite child?
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, thank you. Someone else had a question? Here, lovely Bridget, come and get this. Mr. Hand.
You have to stay ahead of the curve and not playing catch up in your business, I would imagine. How do you consistently do things that are innovative and ahead instead of trailing behind all the time? Because if you're trailing in your business, I would bet that's not a good thing.
Great question. Well, it's sort of like Nokia, right? So it's just a constant. You're constantly, and it's a constant fight. You're fighting people who don't want that type of innovation, but then there's others who do, and you just keep pitching ideas and how to make it better. You can do the same thing that you've done before, but how can we make it better? Just like you guys with Diversity Fest this past. Every year Diversity Fest is getting better and better. And you're doing the same thing. But you're adding to it. So we'll do a little bit of that, and then we'll also come up with something. Hey, let's try this. Let's do this. Let's keep going. And there's a lot of competition out there. I mean, Gaylord Palms with their ice show that it's back. It's amazing. It's fantastic. So there's a lot of people, and obviously you have the Mouse down the road. The things that they do is incredible. But you can also just get with them and partner with them. We at Margaritaville Resort, we have the 450 1 to 8 bedroom cottages, and Disney doesn't have that product. So they're one of our largest wholesalers because they sell our cottages because they don't have that product. So we're almost in partners with them. So there's different things that you can do. And you just have to keep on battling and fighting and thinking and keep on going. And it's this industry. I had a friend one time who was getting out of it and said it's a what's the thing that you the treadmill. It's a constant treadmill, and you have to decide when to get off. Because if you stop, it's going to keep on going, and it doesn't stop. So you decide when you want to get off, but you keep on going on it because that's what this business is, and you're constantly reinventing yourself and reinventing the wheel and doing more and more and more and different. Yes, ma'am.
Do you, and if so, how do you engage the younger generation to keep your ideas fresh? There's no offense, but
I want to give this to Mr. Hand.
the younger generation, they're interested in.
So one more time. Say that again.
Do you, and so how do you
Yep.
engage the younger generation to help you come up with out-of-the-box ideas to keep what you're generating fresh and young for that generation and not just your generation?
I never shoot down an idea. I listen to them because they have great ideas as well. And I remember just driving in the car the other day with Bridget and her friend Ellie, and they were looking through the Margaritaville TikTok, and they said, "Who is handling your TikTok?" And I said, "Well, it's these young girls in the office that go out and they do it, and they get me involved, and you know, they see me running around in a circle or stamping my foot in a sock but they do things, and they said to me that they're so up to date on TikTok, it's almost like they're over up to date with the things that they're doing. So everyone has ideas. And they have ideas, and they have different ideas from what I can be thinking is a fantastic idea. So I listen, and I always let people just do their thing, and then we look at it again just like I would look at my idea and say, okay, how can we make it better now? Or how can we do it differently? Or, all right, well, that was a bomb. Let's not do that again. And we learn from it. But I never shoot down an idea, and I always want them, you know, we're involved in Give Kids the World. And I have a budget that I have to meet every year, and they keep on raising it because I keep on beating it, of how much money I have to make for this. And I have a young lady that works for me that's in charge of it, and she says, well, you know, we can do this and we can do this, and you know, I let them do, you know, selling ice cream in the lobby, and palm tree, buying a coconut for palm trees, and rounding up at the gift shop and the spas to create all that money. And just keep on going. So I let people, everyone has ideas. Let them run with the ideas. And it may sound crazy to me, and it's like, oh, that sounds stupid, but I'm not going to say that. And I was like, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Go for it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, do you have brainstorming sessions, or do you just have an open door policy? Like, how do you encourage
Both, everything. My door is always open, so anyone can come in at any time. Plus, I'm walking around 5-6 miles a day around the property, and just talking and asking questions. And usually the questions I ask, I already know the answers to. But I just talk with everyone, and then we'll have brainstorming sessions on certain areas that we do.
I'll just say a plug for the people who work your gates. They are always incredibly hospitable and happy. I always have something nice to say every time I come into or out of the door.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
You only get one.
All right. I'm reaching in the box. Hold on. All right. Here we go. Yes, ma'am.
What does your budgeting system look like?
Oh my God, I just went through it today. So I had a 2.5-hour budget meeting with ownership today, where I was up there doing a presentation, just like I'm doing this with, I think there was about 65 slides. We put together a budget every year, usually around this time, and we present it to ownership. And basically, the budget consists of, obviously, our top line revenues and how we're going to increase it for the new year, and then obviously our expenses, and then the expenses will show how much money that goes into the different areas and the different pockets that we have to spend for the new year. And I have to, again, defend those pockets if I want more for decoration, or if I want more for this, or I want more for that, or I have to put a pocket and put some money in that pocket, knowing that I'm going to take some of that and use it for this anyway. So it is a long process. It usually starts in August, and then we pitch it to ownership in November, and usually by then it's pretty much approved. And we go through there, but it's such a long, tedious process. But it's fun. But again, it brings back math, a lot of math, and a lot of reading and all of that we go through. Does that sort of answer your question? But I mean, I can get into detail at another time or whatever, and I could show you what our budgets look like. They're crazy. But we are budgeted. So this year we'll probably end up with making just a little over 29 million, and next year I have to make just under 40 million in revenues. Give it that. Yes, sir.
So COVID has done a number on a lot of industries, primarily impacting labor. And the hospitality industry, I've heard, struggles with trying to attract labor and people to work. Can you talk about any challenges and then innovation that you are undertaking to try to address that?
Labor is a huge challenge right now. You know, we talk about labor, we also talk about retention. So, you know, before I even get into bringing in labor, I talk about how am I going to retain and train the labor that I already have, and how do I keep them here? How do I keep them happy? How do I, you know, just different things. You know, we have a free cafeteria, so everyone eats lunch and dinner and breakfast for free. So if you're working a shift, you can go into the cafeteria, and it's great food. You know, so little things like that. I have a town hall every 3 months, every quarter with the staff, and I tell them about the developments and what we're doing and everything that we're doing, and take questions just like this. So they know that I care what they think, what they heard, what that I'm hearing them, and that we're making changes to make their lives better, make their work atmosphere better, and then just trying to you have to hire the right people, which is very hard, because sometimes you can't get the right people. A lot of times, if I can train on the job, I'll hire the personality and train the skill. And I use that system a lot more in Jamaica than I do up here, because it tends to work more. But if I can get someone with a fantastic personality and has never poured a drink, been a bartender before, but they have an amazing personality, I'm going to train you how to be a bartender, and you're going to making a lot of money. You know, if they don't have that great personality, I'm going to put you back in accounting. No, I'm only kidding. But that's, you know, so yes, we're still having issues, you know, getting certain positions. Culinary is a big one. You know, we'll use some third-party companies, and then again, if we treat those people right, they'll stay long, and then we'll hire them away from that company because they'll already have been there for 2 years. So. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question to follow up on what he asked.
Sure.
So sometimes even treating people well and just giving them all the extra perks, it seems like they still want to take advantage of the situation, knowing that there is a labor shortage. How do you deal with that?
So, you know, I'm very straightforward, and you know, and I treat it that way. I don't know what you mean by like taking advantage, but we do treat people, you know, well, and you know, I'll treat them well, and we'll give them things, but I also hold people accountable. So they are accountable for their job, and if they're not doing their job, then we'll sit down and we'll talk about that, and we'll coach and counsel and do the whole process. But even though we're nice and respectful, respect is huge, and it goes both ways. I still hold them accountable. You know, yes, ma'am.
I think she means like people jumping ship to another job. Well, because of the labor shortage, I think there's not a lot of people, but a small, a group of people that, oh, you know what, they really need me. I'm a great worker. You know, they're going to continue to jump through hoops to keep me. So let me see how much I can get. So it's just,
I do straight even across the board. So we'll treat everybody the same. I'm not going to treat anybody different, and in there and
even if they outperform other people.
well, you know, if they want, if someone wants to grow within the organization, I've had, I think every year, I have about 26 people that we've promoted from within. I think this past year, it was about 26 or 27 people. Before that, it was about maybe 19. When I worked in Jamaica, Jewel Runaway Bay, I believe the number was about 140 that I promoted from within, and that was including 2 GM positions. So if someone wants to grow and move up and they're doing the right thing, it's going to happen, because I want to see people grow. If someone, like you used the word, taking advantage, we're going to see through that as well. And if someone wants to jump ship and really, think it's miserable, usually what they'll do is they'll find it, the old adage, grass is greener on the other side of the fence, not necessarily, but we'll let that happen. And, we've had people come back, and we've had people leave, and we wish them well.
Have you seen an impact of, with the way things are currently with the shortage, have you seen a lot of that where people are jumping ship because they think it is greener over there?
At my facility, not as much. I mean, we're in pretty good shape. Again, I have some culinary positions available, but other than that, we're pretty solid right now. I have just under, at my hotel, I have just under about 200 team members, and it's been that way. I probably, we're at, our retention is fairly high. It's about 85%. I think we're doing pretty good. Thank you.
One more question?
Okay. It wasn't me. Relax. And ma'am, I have a shirt for you. If
Do you have a teddy bear?
I had one teddy bear, but she went to Animal Kingdom. And but I do have something for Dr. Long. So this is for you.
Thank you.
All right. But any other? I think I've asked. Yes, good. All right, thank you.
I'd like to thank Scott for coming tonight and being our speaker. Didn't he do great? Yeah. So our next speaker is in February, and it's Bennett Newsom from Full Sail University. He is the director of the esports program at Full Sail, and he's going to talk about innovation in the esports industry. So I hope to see you then. Thank you for coming. There's cookies and lemonade in the hallway, so go help yourself.